Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. Today, we are exploring the history of Priceville, Ontario, a community that serves as a powerful testament to Black resilience and a sobering reminder of a systemic erasure. We will examine Priceville's origins, the anti-Black policies that led to its displacement, and how, as social workers, we can apply an Afrocentric lens to seek restorative justice for such communities. So throughout this presentation, we will be exploring the background of the community, the strengths of the community, and the identification of anti-Black government policies, the consequences of these policies, and the proposed social work practice. Right now, let us jump into the background of the community. Priceville is located in the southwest corner of the municipality of Grey Highlands on the Saugeen River. Its story begins with the first inhabitants. They are the African Americans, many of whom were refugees escaping slavery. These pioneers established a thriving settlement along what is now Durham Road B, east of the current village. They did not just settle, they built a foundation for life. Records show they established a log school and a log church, ensuring that education and faith were central to their community. By the mid of 1800s, the community was a hub for black pioneers in Grey County, existing long before many of the later European settlers arrived. And the strengths of the community. The strengths of Priceville were rooted in agency and community networks. These settlers were self sufficient, clearing land and building their own social infrastructure. One of the most significant indicators of their resilience was their ability to foster a multicultural environment. In 1850, Gaelic speaking Scottish settlers arrived. Unlike the segregation seen in other regions, historical evidence points to a level of intermarriage and coexistence between the black community and the Scottish settlers. This suggests a sophisticated social network where cultural identity was maintained while also allowing for integration. The community's strength lay in its institutional building. The church and the school were not just buildings, but they were the symbols of a people determined to control their own destiny. Moving to identification of anti-black government policies. However, this thriving community faced systemic erasure, while the sources highlight that the individual arrival of settlers, they also reveal a darker side of government policy. Historical analysis published in the Washington Post, they highlights that the town essentially tried to bury its founding by black refugees. This was not an accident. It was a result of anti-black systemic actions. As white settlers moved in, land granting policies often favored them, leading to a gradual displacement of original black inhabitants. Perhaps the most egregious action was the desecration of the black cemetery. The sacred ground where the community founders were buried was eventually farmed over, literally hiding the evidence of black presence in Priceville for decades. Moving to the consequences of these policies, these consequences the consequences of these policies were devastating, actually. Most of the black inhabitants were eventually they were forced to move, relocate to areas like Collingwood, Oro, or Owen Sound. So this displacement caused the loss of intergenerational land ownership, which is a primary driver of economic inequality. Culturally, the impact was forced invisibly by farming over the cemetery. The physical history of the community was erased from the landscape. For over a century, the contributions of these black pioneers were omitted from local narratives, leading to historical trauma of their descendants who were told their ancestors never existed there. Let's now deal with the social work practice. If we look back at these events through a social work lens, the response during the 1800s should have been rooted in anti oppressive practice. Social workers would have needed to act as political advocates, challenging discriminatory land granting practices that favored European settlers over black refugees. We would have focused on community organizing to protect Log School and Log Church as vital community assets. The goal would have been to amplify the settlers' claims to their land and ensure their legal rights were protected against systemic encroachments. Today, our response must be one of the restorative justice. We use an Afrocentric lens to validate these experiences of Black diaspora. This includes supporting projects like Old Durham Road Pioneer Cemetery refurbishments and the documentary Speakers of for the Dead, Speakers for the Dead, which work to unearth the buried headstones and restore communities' dignity. The modern social work involves education as a tool for healing. By incorporating Priceville's history into our high-yield learning resources, we ensure that the systemic erasure is reversed and that the resilience of these pioneers is finally honored. So when we move into the conclusion, so we can say in conclusion that the price relay is a reminder that history can be buried, but through diligent advocacy and culturally responsive practice, it can also be reclaimed. By understanding the policies that displace this community, we become better equipped to fight contemporary systemic racism. Thank you all for your time. Thanks.